I'm down here at Pantai Mertasari in the southern end of Sanur, and it's time for me to do a bit of an update on the beachfront path situation here in Sanur. I haven't done one for about a year, so it's time to do that. I'm standing here basically on a little point at the very end of this beachfront path where a lot of the diving trips and surf trips go from, and the beachfront path just goes up there for about, I think it's 5.8 kilometres up to the harbour. So I'll be walking that today and showing you what's going on, what's new, what's changed, what to avoid. Let's get stuck in. First and foremost, there are a bunch of warungs at the end of this beachfront path. So you come down the path there, get to the end, and down here there's a few warungs which are just so local style and so relaxing, quite good value. And there's one satay babi place there in particular that I really recommend called Bukomang. You have to go there because the satay is just fantastic, real Balinese style pork satay, and I love that place. They give you a little broth in there as well, and it's just beautiful. I think it costs 20,000 for one of those portions. Might have gone up since I last had it, but brilliant. This beach, it looks like this, yeah? Little beach. It's usually a bit calmer. This is sort of a little bit rough at the moment. It's full moon right now, so the tides are a little bit more extreme than they normally would be, and we've had a bit of an onshore breeze. Well, that's what I've been told by the weather agency. So you do get the waves coming up a little bit higher. So last night the waves came over the path, which is pretty normal in the full moon times when the conditions are just right. It doesn't happen all the time, but it's pretty normal. This area of the beachfront path is really interesting. It's the area where most foreigners won't go, especially if you're only here for a short period of time. You probably wouldn't make the effort to come down this end of the path, but I think it's really worth it. It is local style, and certainly on weekends and public holidays it's packed with locals because there's a big car park down there, sort of the local beach, but I reckon it's a great beach for anyone to go for a swim at. Quite shallow, quite a nice place to bring families and kids, and there are some sort of like cafes and stuff around here, a bit local style, but still totally fine. I mean, you're going to be able to get a fried rice and a Coke and a beer like pretty easily. Yeah, just so nice. Over the past year, things have changed a little bit on this path. There's been some things not there anymore. Some things have sort of come along, like this place here. Like that place is a new hotel that last time I was here was just a construction site. So in the past 14 months, it's really sort of come along really nicely, yeah? That's sort of an example of the sort of progress we've had over the past 14 months since I last did a video, maybe 15 months, I think it is. Incidentally, that is called the Sumitra Luxury Villas. And they've got that big beachfront pool. They've got a nice restaurant there. It's pretty expensive, but it's one of those luxury places. So, if you're looking to get something a little bit sort of high level, that's certainly an option. And then some people in the comments in the past have said they've stayed there and really enjoyed it. The way that the beachfront here in Sanur is shaped is that this is sort of like a southerly facing part of the coastline. And as we go up the coastline, it sort of turns a corner, and then the coastline becomes a little bit more easterly facing. So looking for sunrises and sunsets really can depend on where you are along the beachfront path. For example, around this area, you can actually get the sunset, but you can also get the sunrise, funnily enough. If you look over in that direction, that's the sunrise, and then over in that direction is the sunset. It's one of those rare places around here where you can get both of them. If you're just there at the right spot on the beach. This is a little bit of a dead zone where just before the Mercure Hotel, there's been this sort of tin up along here for, as long as I remember anyway. As you get past that little vacant block there, you get into a place called the Genius Cafe, which is a really interesting place. Very popular place. It's like a modern cafe, and one of probably the most southern cafes in the whole of Sanur, I'd say. It's really far south, but really popular. And if you're coming on along this path on a bicycle, for example, easily you can nick in here for a drink and a bite to eat or a bit of breakfast. And then right next door is the Mercure. So that's the Mercure Hotel there. And that's a big sprawling resort, more family style. It's a bit older. A lot of the hotels actually here are a little bit older, but it has a more traditional feel about it. And I think that's really appealing to a lot of people, is that traditional Bali styling still does exist around here. The hotels vary in price greatly depending on the season you come here. So if you have to come here in like school holidays or over Christmas, it can get quite expensive. But if you come in one of those sort of off seasons or lower periods, heaps cheaper. You can get it easily half the price. This area bermain basically means like a play area. So it's one of these rare public facilities we have here in Bali where families can come down to a little play area. So that's basically slides and all that sort of stuff for kids. There's very few of those places available. This is one of them, and it's fantastic for families to come and let their kids play. Even in the mornings, I see adults come down here and they've got these little like weights machines and little things like I'll show you there. See these things here? Like you can come on those and play on those in the morning, just get a bit of exercise. That's all part of the Mercure as well over there. So that's a really nice little area. This is sort of like the quieter end of Sanur. Like if you chose to stay down here, it's a little bit out of the way. For me, it's not a big deal. Like I love it down here, but for some people, they might feel a little bit out of the way. Does that make sense? But I like it. I think it has a really nice feel to it. And if you don't mind walking or cycling around the place, like it's not even an issue at all. Because you can just get on this beachfront path with your bicycle and just zoom up to wherever you want. This is called Retro Beach, this place. They also have that little area on there. They do great Indonesian food. It's not that modern, but the flavors are really good. So they've also got another outlet called Retro Kitchen up on the main street, but that one there is on the beach, and it's fairly popular. I like that place. You know, if you're staying at somewhere like the Mercure, like you'd be going there for dinner, for example. Over there as well, there is access to the road. So all along here, there's little access points up to the roads if you want to get into the sort of residential areas or other cafes that are on the roads. And the place I'm coming past now, that place there is the beach. And the beach is like a little cafe as well, made out of bamboo, and another sort of coffee spot, coconuts, coffee, you know, the standard sort of cafe fare. Very popular. In fact, we're just looking at that there. Much more popular than it normally would be when I go past earlier in the morning, but still, super popular spot. They've done a really good job there. Next place up here is the Rip Curl School of Surf. If you want to go and learn how to surf or do stand-up paddleboarding or, you know, kite surfing or all of those sorts of stuff, you can do it there. And then they've got a nice little beach up the front as well. Yeah, so just go and see those people and they'll give you a pretty good idea of what the story is. They've actually opened up a little Rip Curl shop just recently as well, which I haven't been in it because it's brand new, but yeah, obviously get all your Rip Curl stuff there as well. As we come up here, this is actually like the places are coming thick and fast now. This is actually called the Prama, and it's a massive sprawling property and families love it. And the reason that families love it mainly is because the pool area here is just so large. And not only that, they have these big buckets of water which tip into the pool that kids can play in and all that sort of stuff. It's a typical family style resort, you know. And then, of course, they have all the dining areas out here, you know, like that beautiful designed bamboo structure. And they'll often have performances out here. So at the moment they're advertising a Kecak dance here, but they have events on all throughout the month. It's just constant down here at the Prama. They've always got something on and something to keep you entertained. It's really good. And the other thing about it is it's just a nice part of the beach as well. So if you were staying at a place like the Prama, you'd have this sort of beachfront area as well that you can hang out in. So you can see all the trees there that shade the lounges. If you don't want to get sun, you nick into one of these little lounges. But if you want the sun, well, you can just go down a little bit further outside the shade and you'll get plenty of sun. So it's a nice little part of the beach. Very popular, I notice, with a lot of Europeans who like to come to Sanur and stay in somewhere a little bit more, somewhere with a bit more character, and that has a really good beachside area like this does here. And you can always just dip into the water if you feel like it as well, which of course most people do. The pool, as of today, is under renovation. This one, they've got multiple pools, but that pool's under renovation. But it's not, I don't know how long that's going to go on for, but at the moment it's closed. As we walk further up, this is a little place called Bobby's, very popular older place as well, where you can get a small beer for 28,000. Look at that, dirt cheap. This place here has been under construction for ages now. I believe it's going to be the new Lila Pantai. And the last time I saw that door opened and I had a look inside, it looked like it's not far from being completed. Down here are the old traditional massage ladies. So if you want to go and get a traditional massage where you negotiate the price on the beach, this is where you do it. The little arts and crafts stalls are still here. Yeah, and it has a feel and a smell like the Bali you remember. They're all burning the older style incense and the old ladies are there offering you massages and braid your hair and all that sort of stuff. it has a pretty good feel about it, you know. As we move further up here, we're getting towards the Puri Santrian. If you come here at sunrise, this is just a really great place to sit out here on that little breakwaters and just watch the sunrise. Yeah, the Puri Santrian itself is a really well-regarded hotel. A lot of people love that hotel. Another great little beachfront area down there. And then of course they've got their bunch of different restaurants, and you'll see people sort of dining out here during breakfast time as well. Really nice place to have your brekkie. So a place like the Puri Santrian is a little bit more classy, a little bit more upmarket than some of the other hotels along here, and you pay more for it. That's part of the sort of thing here, is that you can really do the whole range of prices. You can go really cheap or you can go really expensive, and where you land really depends on how much money you're willing to spend and what sort of holiday you're looking for. And we arrive at a place that I like to call the bunch of warungs. These are a bunch of beachside warungs which have an old feel about them. The feel of Bali from 30, 40 years ago. And you can just see tables on the beach, in the sand, pretty simple food, a lot of Indonesian classics, but also you can get like a chicken schnitty or a chicken sandwich or whatever. And they're a really nice place just to come and relax, have a beer, have a nice little meal, even at lunchtime, and it's usually really cheap as well. I really love it down here. Not always as busy as it might be at night. Sometimes at night, some of these places are closed, but you'll usually at least get one or two that are open at night. During the day, of course, most of them are open, and you can just come down there, relax, maybe get a sun lounge, order some food and just hang out for a few hours. So this place here is called Stuja di Pantai. Very popular with locals, but of course foreigners come here as well. But I think it's got a bit of a loyal following with locals, like on Instagram or something like that. They do a great coffee and they do some good meals there as well. And it's a perfect point on the Semarang beach area. So that's Pantai Semarang that we're at the moment. And that road up there is Jalan Kusumasari, and it goes up to the main roundabout in Sanur. A pretty important road if you like getting out and about here in Sanur. We've got a couple of other places up here like Avocado Lovers. And then we've got Naked Baked, which is a little coffee shop that does coffees in paper cups only. But if you don't mind that, a good place to go and get a takeaway coffee as well. And then, of course, the Nest. Now, the Nest is really important, yeah? The Nest here is one of the, well, it's one of the best places to go and get manicures and massages and that sort of stuff, like a spa treatment here in Sanur. That's my opinion, yeah. It's one of the best places. There are other places that I really like as well, but that's a good one down on the beach. They've got two locations these days. They used to have another one at another location, which unfortunately had to be knocked down. So go there, and I reckon you'll love it. Come around the corner and you get this little place here called Tapa, which is a restaurant, but again, one of those classic beachfront restaurants here in Bali. Been around here for a long time with a little outlook like that, and very popular. Very popular. You can get small meals, large meals, come there just for a drink or whatever, and they're open at lunch and at night as well. They actually open pretty early in the morning, but it's not as popular in the morning as it is when the day sort of rolls along a little bit more. And that's right next door to this beach here, which is the Intercontinental beach. So this is all the Intercontinental all up there. Yeah. And then the beach for the Intercon is there. And the staff actually, because it's an expensive hotel, the staff will be out here cleaning things up all the time. So the path is always swept of sand, so it's nice and clean and tidy. Actually, there's a guy up here, I'll show you, doing the sweeping at the moment. They'll go along this beach here, they'll pick up all the seaweed and either carry it away or bury it. So that's always happening. And then you've got this nice restaurant area out the front as well. A really good place to come if you love your luxury. We're in an area of the beachfront path now that up until the end of 2024 used to be warungs and, you know, little shops and that sort of stuff. They're not there anymore because they're all torn down as a result of some sort of lease problems. I don't know exactly what the reason for it was, but now you've just got vacant land. I don't know what's going to happen there. Apparently it's supposed to be turned into a park, and they've planted a few trees around there, but now the weeds are sort of taking hold and it's sort of looking a little bit scruffy. But hopefully they do something with that, yeah, sometime pretty soon, because this is sort of a dead area now. They have made the path a lot wider down here in the past 6 months, which is nice. So there is some activity happening all the time down here, but it's just a bit of slow progress. That sort of balcony type area, that has been changed a little bit as well over the past few months. So we've come to Pantai Duyung. There's a little section of cafes down here. One's called Nare, one's called Lemo, and then there's Seagrass. So Seagrass is the third of the three cafes along this little section. The only sort of remaining cafes and stuff around this area. And then you get up to probably one of the more popular restaurants on the whole beachfront path, which is called La Playa. This place here with that little deck. Last time I came down here for sort of a Sanur Stroll type video, that was actually in the water, but they've fixed that now, and look at it, doesn't it look amazing? Absolutely amazing. Great place for a little meal, whether it's lunch or dinner, doesn't really matter. It's just a really good place for a casual meal, and yeah, one of the popular spots here in Sanur. Actually a good location too. Just around the corner is probably the most famous hotel here in Sanur. It's a very old hotel, but it's the Hyatt Regency, and they've undergone renovations over the years, and it's just absolutely fabulous. They've got that little restaurant they're called Pizzeria, which is great at any time of day, just to hang out there, have a bit of a meal. Great Italian food, even if you're not a guest of the hotel, it's just good to go there. And then obviously they've got all those lounge chairs out the front there. That is a great, great hotel. And if you're lucky, you can get some really good deals there where the price can be under $3 million a night for a hotel of that quality. I just think it's great value when you get a special deal. Of course, in the peak periods, it's pretty expensive, and you wouldn't get me going there because it's sort of out of my budget. But you know, the quality of the rooms and the grounds especially are just fantastic. They've got these really well-established gardens, so big trees. The pools, they've got multiple pools, and obviously it's just well established. The staff have been there forever, so you know, they know how things run. They know how to run an efficient operation, what customers want. It's just really classy. I love the Hyatt Regency. So we're now in the area of Sanur which is called the Andaz. So they've got little villas over there, and you can see the beachfront path goes along quite a long distance between the Hyatt Regency and the Andaz, because the Hyatt Regency actually owns all the land, including this from the Andaz, because this is actually owned by the Andaz as well. This is sort of their more fresh and funky concept, more expensive, a little bit higher quality. Well, the rooms are bigger, that's for sure. I wouldn't say higher quality, but the rooms are bigger, and it's just got a more modern vibe to it. It's not that the Hyatt's old, the Hyatt's more of a traditional resort feel, whereas this is just sort of, the Andaz is more, yeah, well, as I said, fresh and funky. Huge pool out the front, and then a nice little beach area there as well, where you can go and have a bit of a dip. But I mean, with that pool that they've got going on, you probably wouldn't even want to go in. As you can see over there, it's got a huge pool area with all those little day beds out there. What a property. I've actually stayed there before, and it's one of the best hotels I've ever stayed in, honestly. And the food there is absolutely fantastic. They do this breakfast, which is an a la carte all you can eat. So how does that work? Well, they have a menu, and you just select whatever you want from that menu, as much as you want, and have, well, I order half portions and just eat everything. Oh, that's good. You can go there as an outside guest as well, if they've got availability. Contact them, see if they've got space for you. That's really cool. This is called Warung Pantai Indah. This is a really nice place to come down for a beer and a relax on that little lounge chair there. Love that place. We are now at the Maya. That's the beach down at the Maya. Tide's coming in at the moment, and the Maya is up there. They've got a great beachfront pool. It's a 5-star resort with all the things that you'd expect from a 5-star resort, including, you know, they've got yoga coaches and all that sort of stuff. It's brilliant, that place. Prices are pretty decent, I reckon, for such quality, and the location is so central. We're now at Pantai Batu Jimbar, and you can get up to the main road, up that little gang there. Also, that coffee's a good one as well, Kopan. So Pantai Batu Jimbar, a good little location to get in and out of the beach area. And that Maya Hotel is just pure class, pure class. Up here, you get an area for about, I think it's about 500 metres or a kilometre between here and a place called Pantai Karang, where there's not really anything for the average person. There are lots of private properties. Like, for example, over there, you can see that huge villa over there that someone owns. But the path continues along here anyway. But there's just not really like any restaurants or anything that you're going to want to go to. We are now arriving at a place called Pantai Karang. It literally translates to Coral Beach. And what I find really interesting about this beach, first of all, is this temple here. Look at this temple, this Balinese Hindu temple made out of coral. Isn't that unbelievable? I think that is just stunning. This is also a location where people will do yoga in the morning. About, I think, 7:30, if I'm not mistaken. People come down here and do yoga, depending on weather, of course. From memory, I think it's like a donation type thing. And then obviously up that way, that's a little access point to the main road again. Jalan Pantai Karang, which makes sense. So yeah, another sort of in and out point. If you don't have a hotel on the beach, you're gonna have to find some of these side roads to come down to have you walk along the beach. But the thing is, there's a little car park in there, and depending on the day, it's often weekends, but not solely, and not every weekend as well. So in here, this is like the funeral grounds. So over the back there, you can see a rubbish pile burning at the moment. That's just rubbish. But over there in that dirt area, they will burn bodies. They'll do cremations. And sometimes there's more than one person at a time being cremated, depending on the occasion. And they are big, elaborate ceremonies, and it's okay to watch. Be respectful is the #1 name of the game with all of that sort of stuff. And if you're respectful, I mean, the locals are quite happy to explain things to you if you can sort of communicate. If they've got good English, they'll explain to you what's going on, because for us, it's quite a unique experience. And to learn about the Balinese sort of culture as far as death goes is really, really interesting. All along here, there's just these lounge chair rental places. You can rent canoes and kayaks and stand-up paddle boards and bicycles. Everything can be rented from these places over here. And they're pretty popular too. Pretty popular. I just want to make a special mention here and stop for a second to show you the L Hotel and Resort, which is just open. And I mean really just open. It looks like they've got some sort of event on there at the moment, which might even be the opening event. I don't know. But you can see there's some sort of event going on there, and it is all very, very new. So it's all been, it's like, I think it's an old hotel which has been renovated from what I understand, but please correct me on that, because my history of Sanur sort of going back the decades is not as good as many of the viewers out there. And yeah, they've built themselves a little deck out there. I'm sure they're going to have tables and chairs and so forth. They've got tables and chairs in the sand. The good thing about that is this used to be a dead zone where there was nothing for a good 500 metres. And the fact you've now got some sort of resort there where there's more access to the beach and a little bit more going on, I think it's a really good thing. It was a little bit of a disruption for a little while there and looked a little bit ugly, but now that's gone. It's good, you know. I hope they are very successful. The other thing is up here, under these trees, which is just, yeah, amazing if you love your shade, is a little cafe called Nelayan. And that's a decent place to go and hang out. And they've got some little lounges out the front that you can go and relax on and perhaps stay there for a few hours and order your food and drinks from the cafe. What a great way to sort of spend the afternoon. Look at it, just beautiful, beautiful. So come down to Nelayan. It historically has been a little bit underloved in my view because of location, because it's not immediately visible when you come onto the beachfront path because of these sorts of things like these big temples and stuff, which sort of take up a little bit of space along the beachfront path. But if you go for a walk, you'll see it, and it's a great place to go and hang out. So we are getting to a really busy part of the beachfront path now, a place where there's a large concentration of hotels and restaurants and that sort of stuff. The first one we've got here is Villa Shanti, yeah? This is a really, really popular place. People love this, and people comment all the time. If I go past here and don't mention it, people are like, you didn't mention Villa Shanti. Well, I am today. That's a good one, definitely. And then right next door, currently under renovation just a little bit, is the Puri Santrian. They're renovating one particular section of it at the moment, but a lot of it still does exist on the right-hand side here. Yeah, we won't get too caught up with that. That's just a construction site at the moment, but it's going to look good. It's going to look real good. And that pool area is just beautiful here at the Puri Santrian. It's incredibly popular down at the on the beach side there, people with their lounge chairs. And of course, when you've got a hotel that gives you that sort of option, you can just ring a bell type thing and go and get a drink. Not go and get a drink, someone will bring a drink to you. It's just heaven if you like to sort of play on your phone or read a book. I don't know if people still read books, but if you still read books, that's the place where you've got to go, honestly. This one is the Basaki Hotel. This is a cheaper hotel, older hotel, good for people who are looking for something a little bit cheaper but still beachside. That's hard here because anything on the beach is quite expensive. But the Basaki does have something that a lot of places don't, and that's really good value for money, a cheaper place. Not cheap, but cheaper than, say, the Hyatt Regency. And that's the beach location over there at the Basaki. Not bad, and the location, just unreal. And straight away we're into the Tanjung Sari, which is one of the classiest places in all of Sanur. I keep being reminded that David Bowie stayed here. So if David Bowie stayed here, it must be a pretty good one. It's been around for a long time, but it's got classical styling. But look at that beach. Yeah, you'll barely find a better patch of beach than down here at the Tanjung Sari. And they've got this little bar area and a little pool area, and it's just, for me, it just has a really good feel about it. Now, no place here in Sanur is without its criticisms, of course. There's always plus minuses, and that is an expensive place. But it just has a bit of a feel about it, you know? Just 50 metres from the Tanjung Sari is the gazebo, which has, like, it's a hotel and cottages, plus a Warung out the front as well. Again, it's another cheaper place, but people really love it. The people have been coming here for years. This is a little beach club that's been put in recent years. Yeah, it's called, well, I don't know how to say it, because I've got two accents. I've got the Aussie accent and I've got the local accent. My local accent is Sundari, Aussie accent Sundari, but whatever it is, that's there. If you like your sort of beach club type of atmosphere, you could go there. And right next to that is a Respati Beach Hotel. Another really popular hotel. I always see that place packed out. So people that have been coming here for many years have their favourite places. And a place like the Respati, it just does it for some people. And I think that's what Bali's like as well. If you've been coming here for a long time, often you'll go back to the same place and meet the same staff. And it has a sort of a homely feeling about it. Magnum Residence is a Project Mangkrak, a stalled project which is currently in the process of being taken down, I believe. And that's actually attached to the Icon Mall, which is next door. And the Icon Mall, well, it's the first mall in Sanur, and it has its criticisms for sure. I've got a mate of mine who I was talking to this about, and I said, oh, it sucks a lot of energy from the main street. And his counterpoint to that was that the sort of shops that you have in the Icon Mall are not really the sorts of shops that you'll have up and down the main street anyway, which I think is fair enough. You're not going to have a Samsung shop or a really modern boutique or, you know, sports station, sports shop on the main street anyway. So there's a bit of truth in that. So maybe my criticism's a little bit too harsh, but that's what it looks like. Like, that's very cool, very cool. I actually was pretty impressed with how they blended that huge mall into the local surrounding beachfront, and they did it pretty well. That place has a lot of places which you'll be very happy to eat. And if it's raining, everyone sort of goes up there anyway, because you don't want to be walking the streets when it's raining. Well, I don't care, but some people don't. Just up from the Icon is the Sindhu Beach Market. I'll just give you a quick swing through here, like really quick, because I don't want to get stuck in here. You can get stuck in here all day going shopping through here. That's all going to be renovated in the near term anyway, but that's what it looks like at the moment. That's a great little place to go and get handicrafts. That's Merino, a little cafe. But yeah, go to the Sindhu market and help those ladies out. Like, they're the ladies that have been there for like 30 years, and I don't know, I just always feel that they deserve a little bit of luck, you know. That is Kayu Manis, very popular restaurant slash cafe. It's more like a restaurant, I would say. And then the next one along is Soul on the Beach, which is also very, very popular. You'll see a lot of these little bamboo pavilions they've got. They've been put up for the wet season. I'm not sure if they'll take them down for the dry season. They should, but I don't know if they will. We're really close to Pantai Sindhu now. You could even call this area Pantai Sindhu actually, because of the location. Everything's sort of super concentrated between the main road to Pantai Sindhu, which is called Jalan Pantai Sindhu, and the Icon Mall. Over here, we've got the inner Sindhu Beach. Yeah, one of those older style beachfront resorts here in Sanur. And then here, a bunch of warungs, including two really good ones that I'll mention. There's other ones there as well, but the ones that I'm familiar with are Dutz Burger. They do cheap, tasty burgers. So if you want a burger, local style, really cheap and really good. And then just up here, there's a place, well, all of these places do little like cool drinks and stuff and coconuts, but the one that's quite noteworthy here is called Amphibia. And they do fresh seafood. So as the day goes on, they'll load that up with freshly caught seafood and yeah, get something down there. Pretty cheap, good seafood, pretty cheap. That's another one of those turtle conservation things. And then here is the road Jalan Pantai Sindhu, and there's heaps of good stuff up there, like heaps of warungs, cafes, restaurants up there. So this is a really, really popular area of town. You'll find a lot of people prefer this area of town, but not everyone, but some people prefer it, and that's that's because there's a good concentration of places to eat and stay. Before I forget, I just should make the point that I'm not going to point out every single place that exists along here, and there's probably places that I'm skipping over that you really love, like Barona Beach Market. Go down there, they do fixed price shopping for knickknacks. So if I skip over a place, doesn't mean I don't like it or I don't know about it. It's just that I can't do every single place, otherwise the video becomes too long. It gets a bit boring too if I'm mentioning every place, but these are the ones that are highlights for me. This place is amazing. It's called Birdhouse. Yeah, they've got a beachfront area, they've got that big area over there. The first time I went there, I went and sat on those seats over there, and they said, no, you can't sit there unless you pay us like 150,000. And I was like, what? I'm not sure if they're still doing that. I don't think they are, because there's heaps of people sitting there now, but at that time that really sort of bugged me. But the food there is good and the coffee's good. Like, it's a good place, like a really good place. So that little hiccup I had earlier on, hopefully it's not like that anymore. Really good. That's a bit of an iconic little thing. The first time I saw that, I was shocked to see that big crayfish or lobster or whatever it is. Looks like a bit of a spider, actually. So I'm now at Pantai Segara, and the distance between Pantai Segara and Pantai Sindhu is like, I don't know, a couple of hundred meters, like really short. They almost seem like the same beach. If you're not familiar with it, you might even think it's the same one. But here you go, Pantai Segara is there. And that's another access point to the beach, actually quite a northerly one, a really northerly access. There you go, Pantai Segara, really northerly access point. So we are quite far north now, like really far north, but the beaches still continue on. I'll show you. Look at that. Like, that's a nice beach up there. It's beautiful. It's just not as popular because it is a little bit further north than most people want to stay. Only a little bit. Over here, there's some construction going on. It's called the Esso Sanur, and they're calling it 81 exquisite villas and vibrant dining experience, indulgent spa and wellness. So, like, it's a bit waffly for me. Waffle words don't really mean anything. It just means expensive property, I think. That's what they're talking about. Expensive, high class. I don't even know how it's going to be sort of handled. Like, if you're doing villas, like usually people live there, but I'm not even sure that's the case. It might be more short-term stuff. But yeah, that's under construction. That's on the land of the old Grand Inner Bali. You know, this whole land used to be owned by the Grand Inner, and it seems that part of it's been sold off. The beach over here is quite good. This has been a dead zone for many years now, many years. And it's only in recent times that some of the like, there's a couple of hotels being opened up here, renovations of the old hotels, that it feels a bit better now. So the two hotels here are the Meru, which is this one, and then the Bali Beach Hotel. So this is the Meru. Look at the size of that pool. It's like a football field size. It's a pretty expensive one, that place, high class. You know, one of those places that if you've got a bit of money, you're probably going to love it there, honestly. But it depends what you're into as well, isn't it, really? And then when we move into this area, that's called the Bali Beach Hotel, and that is the first tall building here in Bali, and the last one. It was after that was built that there was a big uproar about the size of it, that Bali sort of instituted rules or adopted rules that said no more tall buildings. Now there is like this claim that you can't build a building taller than a coconut tree anymore. Well, that's not correct, because there are lots of buildings, like the Icon Mall's bigger than a coconut tree. But yeah, it goes to the point that no more buildings like that. So you don't really get these big high rises anymore here. And I kind of like that. You don't want it to turn into, the next Mexico or southern Spain or something like that, or surfers paradise. We don't want that here. We want low rise, and they do it very well here. But they still do have that. That's been renovated so many times over the years. Look at it. It scrubs up all right, doesn't it? Really? And again, that was out of action for a couple of years, and it's back in action now with a beautiful, beautiful pool out the front. And that beach, look at that. Isn't that brilliant? So this is a really interesting part of the beach. That was a long haul from Pantai Segara all the way here to Pantai Bangsal. It's a pretty long walk, like especially in that sun. It sort of gets to you a little bit, and after that I'm shattered. But if you're on a bicycle, it's much easier. The reason that I keep going up here is because this is just another centre of activity here in Sanur, and it's really important to point out this whole area. I think it's really interesting. It's also getting close to that harbour area where there's a bit of stuff going on as well. So this is the parking area for the cargo boats that go across to the islands. So a lot of the cargo goes along there, goes out there, and it also used to be the area where passengers used to go across there as well, but that's sort of changed now to a more formal harbour further north. And we now have a bunch of cafes and restaurants down here, which is really interesting along this beachfront path. A real concentration of places that are pretty good. So let's go through them a little bit. We start off with a bunch of coffee shops. And when I mean a bunch of them, there's like 4 or 5 in a row down here. Total is about 10 coffee shops, honestly. And they're all fairly similar. They look a bit different, but I mean, same sort of concept, really. Yeah, all in a row. Some of these that, that I've been to, some of them I haven't. Prices are variable as well, up and down, depending on what sort of place it is. Gold mine's been around for a long time. Used to be here when this was not so developed as well. Peso, that's another one. And Pizza and Go is another good one as well. So before this was developed, this was all much lower down. And it was very, very old school, very traditional type Warung type arrangement. Not that popular. Some people loved it, some people didn't. And now this place is more popular than it's ever been, this whole area, especially with locals. It's more of a local area. The locals love to come here. Now, there is a debate to be had about whether the blandness of this place is a good or a bad thing. I mean, if you're coming here to Bali, you want something a little bit more, with a bit more character, but you can't have everything, can you? Like, this is actually a good place to come for food. It is. Like, it's a Babi Guling place. It's a little bit more upmarket. Now, it's not a tourist place at all. It's filled with locals. They want upmarket as well. And that's just what we've got here. And this whole area goes down quite a long way now. So it's been extended and extended and extended a number of times, to the extent that we've got maybe 300 metres worth of cafes and restaurants. So there's just so many different places to choose from along here. And the seating arrangement on that side, overlooking the ocean, like, you can't beat it. A good day for it too. I started off the day earlier this morning in beating sun and went for a run. And then I went home and it looked like it was going to rain. I thought, I better get out there and do a video. And now, as soon as I start walking any kind of distance, it's beating sun again. Another one that historically has been popular in Sanur is Coco Bistro. That used to be down at Pantai Duyung, and it's now moved up here these days. If you used to like that place down there, well, you can come up here and try it up here. For most people, they're probably going to catch a cab up here, but if you've got a bicycle, it's easy enough. The walk is a little bit far. Like, I've walked more than 5 kilometres now. I'm almost at the end of the walk. So from the very southern end, I've nearly walked that 5.8 Ks. More coffee shops, a bucksaw place, and we finally get to the end of the strip of warungs and cafes. There you go. Look at it, beautiful. It's just a great day for it, isn't it? Look at that ocean. I'd rather be nowhere else in the world, honestly. It's just beautiful. And as you get a little bit closer to that ocean, you get a slight breeze from it that just cools things down just a notch. In recent years, this has all changed up here, and I'll show you what the culmination of all of this is in the Sanur Harbor. So as the islands became more popular, we're talking about Nusa Penida, Nusa Lembongan, as those places became more popular, there was a need for a proper harbour where you don't have to get your feet wet to get onto a boat. And so they built this thing over the course of a few years, coming up over here, and it's what we have today. It's called the Sanur Harbor, and even that is now ultra busy. There's just boats constantly coming and going. So this is the view of the harbour from the water side. When you view it from the other side, which I did about 5 videos ago, you couldn't really see all this, but that's the view now. It's actually quite quiet over there at the moment, not that many boats in. That's the harbour building. Usually that gets so busy up there. When it's peak times, like especially in the mornings, that's when it's quite busy. In the afternoons, it can get a bit busy as well. God, that just gets so busy over there. The building is really busy, and they're stopping people from going in because they don't have capacity to let them in. And all that sort of stuff. It's just chaos because it's just a very, very busy place now. The capacity of that place can't really handle it that much. And they're thinking about putting some boats on from Pantai Mertasari, which is where I started the video from, just to split some of the load a little bit, which I guess is a fair idea. So there we have it, looking back along the shoreline at Pantai Matahari Terbit. Thank you for coming along for the ride today along this 5.8 kilometre journey all the way from Pantai Mertasari up to Pantai Matahari Terbit. I've really enjoyed showing you some of my favourite spots. If you've got any places that you really love, pop them down in the comment below, because I think other people watching this might want your recommendations as well about what there is to eat and where to stay along the beachfront path here in Sanur. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Sanur and the rest of Indonesia. I'll catch you next time, and sampai jumpa.